All right, hello there traders, and welcome back to another session on a Monday. So today is this is an extra session titled Ingredients to Success Trading the TenTrade Style. So I would like to go over the tools that are actually available onto the tools that are available on the platform itself, the TenTrade Academy, or the 10 Academies platform or dashboard. So here itself we have got many tools that would actually be helping you, guiding you in combining technical and fundamental analysis. So I just want to follow through with what we have actually talked about earlier on from the technical side of it. Now, from the technical side of it, of course, we have got the various techniques, skills as well, also various strategies combined with, you've got your Fibonacci strategies, you've got your pattern strategies, various other strategies as well. So all that is combined to give you a thorough price action, trend analysis as well, and various other ingredients to successfully conducting a technical analysis. That's all well and good on the other side. So I just want to talk to you now before we get into the technical side of things. It's probably best for us to go over the fundamental checklist that we need and tools that we can actually use to actually analyze the fundamental factors of the market, or fundamental factors that are driving the market. So number one would actually be the sentiments, as we have actually mentioned. Now, we always need to understand whether or not the market is going through a risk off or a risk on type sentiment or mood of the traders. Now, we've got various tools, as you guys can actually see. We have got the financial news will be streamed from Forex mirrors, and we've actually got tools as such, very close to a heat map style, but more like a dashboard from different instruments to different time frames as well. As you guys can see in technical analysis, it says here for Euro USD, but that's giving you a little bit of an idea of the sentiments that the traders are going through at this moment of time for the Euro USD, and you can see that it's more a selling or bearish type bias to the technical analysis for Euro USD. And you can see that what's the number that is for the sell, what's the number for being neutral, and as well as the buy. Now, we've talked a lot about Euro USD earlier on from both fundamental and technical. So this is why the title of this webinar as well is Ingredients to Success Trading the TenTrade Style, mainly because TenTrade Style, meaning that we are using the tools properly that are available on the dashboard, especially on 10 Academy's dashboard, and to actually have a one stop to actually do our research. So what we are actually doing is to research the market properly, and this could actually be good ingredients that we need to actually pick out to make up for what we need in both technical and fundamental analysis. So when it comes to fundamental analysis, this could actually be fueling the market through sentiments, through greed, through fear, and through uncertainty for a sideways market, fear for a downward bias type market, and greed to the upside or the upward bullish type market. So hence the reason it is really important for us to take that step back before we just get into the technical side of it or enter the platform to understand breaking news and various other fundamental aspects of analyzing the market. And one of the most important data that we need are the economic data that's released on the economic calendar. So the use of economic calendar is really important for us to understand trend, for example, to know and pinpoint where the money flow is, whether it's going into safe havens or out of safe havens. If it's going into safe havens, then we have got risk off environment, not risk on. If risk off, meaning that you're turning off the appetite for being risky. So that would then give us a lot of flow, or we could it could actually be very obvious for traders and investors to flow in the money into safe havens like the JPY, like the CHF, which is a Swiss franc, and especially with our favorite gold. So we would see the golds rising with a lot of fear in the market, building up sentiments of fear would actually then transverse or have that transfer of wealth or transfer of asset classes from risky ones to less risky. So this is where we want to actually be really careful in understanding that flow and understanding the sentiments of the market, following fundamentally, analyzing the market properly. So we want to also look at the economic side of things, and these are all enabled for us as traders to actually conduct all this analysis systematically with the tools that are actually available in the on the dashboard itself, on the 10 Academies dashboard. So as you guys can see, we have got the economic calendar right here, and the economic calendar, I have summarized the whole week's economic calendar during our session today in the Monday's week ahead session. So with the recording itself, you guys are able to look at what I've pinpointed as high impact, medium to high impact news, and looked at which currencies would actually be moved or instruments that could actually be moved from what would actually be going on, or in terms of data or economic data that would be actually released for the whole week ahead. So here we have got actual forecasts. I personally never looked at the numbers so much, but it's crucial or more important for us to understand what's going on at this moment of time in terms of the change of policies, the change of various other economic sort of regulations and rules that basically move the market in major economies like the States, in the Eurozone, as well as in the UK, or Euro in general, that would actually cover the UK as well. And we want to look at bilateral agreements, bilateral trade relationships between countries, and the products, or not the products, of commodities, or the nature of that transaction and dealings between one country and the other country as well. Is really very, very important to look at how that relationship is geopolitically influencing various other instruments in the market. So it's called intermarket analysis that I actually do as well, and this is where we could do all these things, all these kind of analysis to gather the right data in order for us to pick the right pair to trade for the day, by understanding what the predominant trend is, how clear the trend is as well, and some geopolitical or political and economical factors that are driving economies, or whether it's on the upside or the downside as well. All right, there we go. So this is how your dashboard looks like on 10 Academy. We've got various choices, options for you. We've got your webinars right there, of course. You've got ebooks as well, tools. Now I want to talk a little bit about tools before we enter into the technical side of it, because we've got tools in the technical side of it. We've got tools before you reach the technicalities of trading, conducting trend analysis or technical analysis. Before you do all that, understanding the sentiments would require us to actually use tools properly. So there are tools that are meant to conduct your fundamental, there are tools to conduct your technical. So here on the fundamental side of it, of course, when you look at the economic calendar per se, it is best for us to actually filter medium to high impact news. This is your number one step. And of course, you know, on a Monday, or whether in the weekend, that you have time to actually just take a look at the whole week and see whether or not we are expecting any medium to high impact type data releases, speeches as well, that could actually be categorized as high impact or impacting highly any instruments or instruments that are connected in the market. So this is really important for us to do, is to actually look at the economic calendar and use the filter. So this could actually be your number one step when it comes to your fundamental ingredient. Your number one ingredient would actually be knowing how to actually filter. Let's say if we take an example from the one that is available from FX Street, then we can actually use the filter right here. So here, if you are looking at filtering, because I've got some questions on how do you actually filter it, or the best way to actually filter your economic calendar for the entire week. So make sure that under the impact side of it, it's not necessary for us to actually have the low impact data to actually show. So we untick the low data ones, and then we go on to the medium and the high impact ones, and then you can actually then have it as such. Give me a second. Okay, and once you've done that, make sure you have got your this week's calendar outline for you, right? So you just click onto this week and you click on apply. Then you have got the whole week's economic calendar filtered by its importance and volatility. So here you actually have high, medium and high impact ones. The medium, the halfway through bars or the orange ones are actually your medium impact, and then you have got your high impact retail sales data, which is now it's showing that on Monday, September 5th, which is today, it's giving us hints that we need to look at euro crosses, for example, GBP crosses, GBP and euro crosses, as well as I think it's your USD right here. Now this is a very, very big one here, because even though it's been sort of showing as medium impact, the OPEC meeting is highly crucial for us to look at all this dropping oil and dropping oil and also gas prices that is happening now in the UK as well, in the Eurozone as well. So this is a huge impact, and I think they'll be announcing some meetings as well this month itself. So it's got next release, as it says right here. You can actually see that the mission of the OPEC is to coordinate, unify. It's also talks about when it is held. It is held in Vienna, and is attended by representatives from 13 oil-rich nations. So there's definitely some movement on both Brent and WTI expected this month as well, following this meeting. Okay, so there you go. That's why it's really important for us to filter out the medium and the high impact, and then you can see that we will look into Tuesdays. You get a little bit of an idea that you've got interest rate decisions. I think interest rates decisions revolves around three major superpowers for this month. So it's really important that it will actually impact a large scale or a large number of crosses, instruments as well, because of the nations or countries that are involved in announcing their interest rates. So we've got Australia's interest rate right here. So this will then allow you to understand how to actually plan out your week. And this is one of the ingredients of success, is to be able to not only filter but plan your week ahead, and understanding and knowing which currencies potentially or instruments and asset classes that can actually be impacted by the data releases that actually will be released in days to come. So then we have got Wednesday right down to Friday as well. So here it is, that's your first sort of step to understand how to actually filter and get an idea of what is to come for the whole week following the economic calendar, because the fundamental aspects through the economic data releases acts like a fuel to the market. It fuels movements, it fuels volatility, it fuels the liquidity play of the market as well. So this would actually then create opportunities. Of course, volatility as we know it, especially in the Forex market, it's the lifeblood of the Forex market. That's what volatility is for the Forex market predominantly, and especially CFDs as a whole. So because we are able to trade on the upside as well as the downside, that's the magic, that's the wonders of trading with trading CFDs. So with that, Of course, we've got economic calendar, economic data released in the economic calendar, but we, as what I've mentioned earlier on, speeches and important announcements as well, like the Davos convention, or maybe the Jackson Hole convention and meetings and stuff like that. They are all announced as well in the economic calendar. So it does not actually mean only economic data releases, but also important events, very crucial events that could actually be decisions could actually be made in these events as well by the big boys, or powerful decision makers, rulers of the countries, and various heads of various departments and faculties, basically. So this is where we want to be aware of all this happening as a whole, economically, as well as speeches and various other happenings, right? So this is important, and that actually comes under the economic data releases and economic calendar only. But above that, we have got breaking news that would revolve around maybe natural calamities, natural disasters as well could impact the market. So it's really important for us to also be aware of headline news and breaking news. So this is the fundamental side of it. So your number one step, of course, is to monitor breaking news that could actually impact markets, but also economic data releases. And this is your number one area to actually be aware of. And we have got videos in the dashboard as well that will be released very, very soon to actually guide you through on how do you actually do each part correctly and properly, to understand how do you actually filter out the news properly, how do you connect one economic data with another economic data for you to be able to predict and forecast the market better from a fundamentals perspective, and how do you actually gather out and outline those ingredients from a technical perspective itself, so that you can then combine both fundamental and technical analysis together. Okay, all right, there you go. So these are just some of the brief sort of ingredients that I can share with you on the fundamental side of it. Now on the other side of it, using tools, for example, they are available on Action Forex, but very soon it will be made fully available on your Ten Academy's dashboard. So you can always start exploring your Ten Academy's dashboard, and you'll be able to actually see that we have got all the tools, including your economic calendar, but of course you've got your heat maps, volatility charts. We've also got various other calculators and various other things that you would need, and you would follow through what you need to do with the trade plan. So having a trade plan as an outline would actually be giving you a higher chance of success, because you'll be gathering different tools and different approaches that would actually make up that ingredients to success for you. But the outline of that plan, or sort of your standard operating procedure, is your trade plan. So your trade plan is an outline of actions that you need to take, what you would need to do, and which tools you would need to apply first, second, third, and so on and so forth, before you make that final decision of jumping into the trade straight away. So you wouldn't be doing that if you would be analyzing the market, if you would have an outline of a plan or a standard operating procedure like a trade plan, right? And with that, you will then be able to pick out all these wonderful tools and use it as your ingredients to increase the probability of your success. So that's basically it. Okay, guys, let's see if you guys have got any questions at all. No? Okay. All right, that's basically it. And now let's just get to a little bit of coverage on the tools. Of course, I've got videos that would explain to you each and every one tools properly and in detail. Now, let's start off with the top 10 movers right here, which I basically go through them quite a lot in each of my live webinar sessions. So here on the top movers itself, it gives me, it's not a 100% type tool that would actually, just help you 100% with its predictions. But what's important to know though is that it is a good tool for us to use it as a guidance in terms of knowing which instruments, especially forex pairs that are focused by traders and investors. Like in this instance right here, we have got 1 to 10, and we could see that the predominant focus of which currency would actually be the USD itself right here, because we have got from 1 to number 5, for example, we've got USD, and then you got another one, the 6th one right here, and then the 7th one right here has got USD in it. So 7 pairs out of 10 pairs has got USD in it. So the focus are on major currencies. So that hence the reason it is quite important for us to actually get that idea and that hint for us to be able to trade properly and able to actually pick the right pairs to trade for the day. So that's another ingredient to your success amongst all the other ingredients that you have. So one of the most important things as well is to look at this table and make sure you pick out pairs that has got 4 dots right here, which basically marks or gives you the hint of clarity in its trend. But of course we need to pick out these pairs and then do our own trend analysis onto the chart once we have actually picked them out. So once you've picked out, let's say Euro USD, AUD USD, and also Euro CHF, this bottom here, then we are able as traders ourselves to actually confirm the trend, whether or not it's clear, it's really strong a trend, and we are able to do that with multiple time frames to actually go from one time frame to the other time frame and apply the right tools on the technical side of it to enable us to do a proper trend analysis for these. And once the trend is really strong and clear, then it poses some opportunity for us to trade based on these pairs. And once we've picked the right pairs, we are then able to do a deeper, proper technical analysis before we make that final decision of entering the market with it. Okay, so that's the whole flow of the trade plan as well, that I named it PRICE, P-R-I-C-E. So we've got many techniques and tools and steps within the one letter of the P, and then we take you through to the R, which is risk reward, and then we take you through the insights, which basically are little tips and also breaking news and breaking out the logical explanation of the news as well to you guys, is the third step of the price trade plan. So we have got 5 steps in total, 4 steps in total before we reach the final step, the E, which stands for the execution. So we've got P-R-I-C-E. So P is your, P stands for many P's. You've got the psychology of the market, we've got patterns, price patterns as well, psychological numbers as well. So we've got many P's that you need to be very aware of in the first instance itself before you go on to the next step, which is step number 2, which is the R. R stands for risk reward, which does actually then cover your lot sizing, your little calculations based on your personal capital, your deposit levels as well, your risk appetite. So various other things that needs to be communicated to your mentor, both me and Toby as well, and the various other instructors and trainers. So the I is where you need to communicate with us on what you have learned and basically try it out for yourself in the P and in the R to confirm us with the I. So the I is your third step, where it stands for insights or insiders information. and that is basically where you communicate with us mentors to basically go through what you have actually gone through yourself, and then we want to confirm and basically mentor you in that stage, and then before we take you through to the fourth step together, which is confirming every areas of technical and fundamental analysis properly, and then we go on to the final step of making that decision to trade or not. At the fifth step, that is the E, which stands for the execution of your trade. So we've got P, R, I, C, and E. That's the price trade plan, which is the trade plan that I've been using for the past 10 over years and basically been proven really successful. And what it does is just providing you with an outline, with a standard operating procedure, where in each one area you can always insert your own techniques, your own strategies or methodologies as well, as long as it goes in this sequence of step, in order for us to balance out the hemispheres of the brain as well, from right to left and left to right, in order for us to be able to make a more powerful decision and a collective educated decision in trading on the fifth step. Okay, so that's basically it, guys. All right, any questions? If you guys have got no questions, then it'll be best for us to end this session for today, and we will see you again in our next topic that will actually be announced and be broadcasted as well, and we will touch on different topics every week. So we will have different sessions every Monday, 12 o'clock. We will have two sessions, your Monday week review, your Monday week ahead review, as well as a special topic webinar as well, or session to look forward to every Monday. All right, guys. So with that, I would like to end the session for today, and